information on nutrition and some other good healthy stuff, vitamins. We appreciate you guys coming. If you have any questions, let us know. If you need any pens to write down notes, let me know too, and then I'll have Heather take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. So we'll get started in just a few seconds. I do want to do a poll, so we can do like a before and after. Can everybody hear me okay? Do you need me to talk louder? Talk louder? Okay. Use my mom voice. Get a little louder. Okay. So my name is Heather. I own Simple Organics in Oxford, Michigan. Is anyone familiar with that? Anyone? Okay. Yep, so it's right downtown Oxford across from Genesis Credit Union. It's been there for about 12 years or so. So we're an all-organic, non-GMO wellness store. We have a doctor of natural medicine on staff as well. Real quick before we get started, who here, just raise your hand, thinks they eat healthy on a regular basis? Think you're eating pretty healthy on a regular basis? Okay, it's about 25%. And then who thinks you're getting your adequate or enough servings each day of fruits and vegetables? You think, okay, so I'd say it's about half and half. You think you're meeting your daily requirements for fruits and vegetables. So we're gonna dive into that a little bit today. Let's see. How do we get this moving if it's not? There we go. Okay. Perfect. So today's topics, we're going to be going over the food groups, what like your recommended daily amounts are for vitamins, things like that. And then we're going to quickly go over nutrition label reading because there are some newer updates to the nutrition label as of a few years ago. And then how to choose a good supplement. That was something that they asked me to teach on and just like briefly touch over, like how to choose healthy vitamins, which ones are better than others, etc. So who am I? I'm a certified wellness practitioner, a holistic health practitioner, a lactation consultant. That's something I'm really passionate about. I've taught public health for the last 6 or 7 years. I worked in Flint at a nonprofit for several years during the Flint water crisis, teaching nutrition education, things like that. I'm an herbalist. I'm just finishing my doctorate right now. Next year I will officially be done with school and I will become a doctor of naturopathy. So I'm a mom, wife. This is my husband right here, Steven, my 2 daughters, Mackenzie and Blake. We both grew up in Oxford, graduated from Oxford, and now our kids go to school here too. So 7 healthy habits for a healthy life. I just wanted to include these in here as we're in the beginning of the year. Just some brief things that you can do each day to have a healthier life. So try and be positive when you wake up in the morning. Maybe it's writing something positive on a piece of paper. Some people like to do dry erase markers and you can like write it on your mirror. So just like a positive quote, something that makes you happy, something you're thankful for, and that can really change your outlook on each day and month, year to year. Making sure you're not skipping breakfast. This is very important. So making sure you're getting breakfast within the first half hour to hour of waking up, and having as much protein as you can in your breakfast and lower on like the carbohydrate side. Drinking water when you wake up. Does anybody know about how much water you should drink each day?
8 glasses.
8 glasses? Yep. So it varies like on your weight. So what the easiest way to know is you take your weight. So say you weigh 140 pounds, you divide it in half, so 70 pounds, and it would be 70 ounces of water is what you should have each day. Okay, so it seems like a lot. A lot of people are not getting enough water throughout the day, and that is very, very important because most of our body is made up of water. If you're dehydrated, that's going to lead to a lot of other issues, you know, lightheadedness, dizziness, headaches, things like that. And for every 1 cup of coffee you drink, you should have 3 cups of water because coffee is a diuretic and that'll dehydrate you as well. Prioritizing your sleep, so making sure you're getting at least 8 hours of sleep. If you're having difficulty falling asleep, try reading a book before bed and cutting out any electronics or the TV. That blue light from your cell phone or from your TV will actually impact your ability to fall asleep and get into that REM cycle. So if you cut that out at least an hour before bedtime, that can really help your sleep cycle. And then moving every day, whether it's 10 minutes here and there throughout the day, trying to get as much exercise as you can. Always having half of your plate full of fruits and vegetables. I usually teach children, so I always say eat the rainbow. So making sure you're having as many colors on your plate as you can, that's very important. We're going to dive more into the MyPlate right here, which I passed out. And if you didn't get one of these, there's one on the table back there. So this is just like a general recommendation of what you should eat each day for someone who's over 65 and around 150 to 200 pounds. Okay, so you're wanting to get at least 1.5 cups of fruit, 2.5 cups of vegetables, 6 ounces of greens, 5 ounces of protein, and 3 cups of dairy. I know for a fact that there's definitely days where I'm not getting those fruits and vegetables in, all that can be hard or challenging, especially if you're busy. And that's sometimes where like vitamins and minerals can come in to help, support your body and make sure you're getting the things that you need. But food come in many different forms. So some are denser than others. Broccoli cooked is different than broccoli raw. So I made sure to put a lot of info in that PowerPoint. I'm not going to read through it all, but you guys will at least have that typed out if you want to read it later. But as you can see on the bottom, so like based on the vegetables in the food group, 1 cup of raw spinach is about 1/2 cup of cooked beans, but both count as like a 1 cup equivalent. If you guys have questions on any of that afterwards, we kind of get into it more as we go. So vegetables. Vegetables come in a variety of colors, flavors, textures. They're an important source of vitamins and minerals. Trying in the winter, it's really important to eat dark leafy greens. Your body needs those vitamins more throughout the winter. I try to incorporate as much arugula as I can and not as much spinach. So a lot of times people think they're healthy by eating a lot more spinach, but spinach is more of a summer food. You want more of the warming greens like mustard greens, collard greens, arugula in the winter because those are more warming and nourishing for your body. And if you have a lot of allergies, spinach is histamine producing. So spinach can make your allergies worse. To arugula, doesn't make the same histamine reactions. So it's a little bit of a healthier choice. And always, arugula, any of the kale, that's much better than iceberg lettuce. Iceberg has virtually none of the good stuff in it. So some equivalents for ideas for vegetables to get your servings in would be like 1 cup of uncooked spinach, 6 baby carrots, 1/2 cup of cooked kidney beans, 1 cup of cooked green beans, things like that. Fruit. So like I said, fruits, we should be getting at least 1.5 cups of fruit each day. I like to have my fruit at breakfast. Obviously, if you have diabetes, things like that, you have to be more careful with your fruits because they are higher in sugar. So like 1 banana would be considered like a 2 carb count. And if you have diabetes, you only want 1/2 of a banana in one setting. Otherwise, a whole banana is too much. That'll spike your blood glucose levels. But try and eat seasonally as much as you can. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's really important to kind of see, like in Michigan, which fruits are in season. So like in the fall, you're not having as much strawberries, raspberries, watermelon, things like that, but apples are really great and good for your body in the fall. They're full of fiber. You can make homemade applesauce to where in the summer, when it's really hot, you want those cooling fruits like watermelon. Watermelon is really good. That'll help rehydrate you. Any of like the strawberries, raspberries, things like that. the Clean 15 and Dirty 12. Has anyone ever heard of these? No? Okay, so over the years, they've done a lot of studies where they go into farmers markets, grocery stores, and they take a bunch of organic fruits and vegetables and not organic fruits and vegetables, and then they test them for pesticides, herbicides, things like that. So if you're wanting to really eat clean, but you're on a budget, this is really nice because it can tell you which ones tested the cleanest and which ones didn't. So like these ones, the Clean 15, you're okay if you don't get those ones organic, but the Dirty 12, these ones have a lot of chemicals, pesticides, herbicides that can lead to a lot of other health issues. So those are the ones that you really want to try and get organic if you can. And those ones are strawberries, spinach, nectarines, apples, peaches, pears, cherries, grapes, celery, tomatoes, bell peppers, and potatoes. So I like to, the easiest way for me to remember it is like anything with a softer skin, you know? So like the strawberry, spinach, things like that, to where the corn, avocados, pineapples, they all have like that rougher edge, you know, rougher surface, and it kind of protects the fruit a little bit more. Any questions on that? Okay. So grains. Greens, this is another one where you really want to try and get at least non-GMO if you can. Is anyone familiar with what non-GMO means? Yeah?
Well, it's not altered.
Yes, so non-genetically modified. They haven't put anything in there to add in like a pesticide, herbicide, things like that, that actually change the plant. There's been a lot of studies recently where if it's has GMOs, it has like glyphosate, things like that, that lead to cancer. So you really want to have non-GMO grains because it's just healthier for you. So I always look for that little, it's like a non-GMO label on it, and I'll have like a little orange butterfly with blue, and that'll let you know. And there really isn't that much of a big price difference between non-GMO and regular. If you get organic, that's like gold standard if it's organic and non-GMO, but at least non-GMO. I have the breakdown right there of what you want for your grains. So you want at least 6 ounces a day, and 1 serving for each is right there. So whether that's like your oatmeal in the morning, getting at least a cup or so of oatmeal, you can throw some fruit on there. Apples, pears are really good fiber to get things moving in the morning, help your digestive system. Protein foods. So this is really important to buy local whenever you can. We have a really good farm right down the road, not even 5 minutes from here, East River Organics. And they have a CSA if you're not familiar with it, and they do deliver once a week, or you can pick it up there. They have all organic, grass-fed, chicken, beef, pork, things like that. I have their info on one of the last slides. And then they're always at the farmer's market in the summer too as well with fresh produce. But your protein foods, you want to try and look for those lean, healthy proteins. So like chicken breast, grass-fed is always best. You want to do like salmon. I love going to Costco and getting the big packs of frozen salmon. That's wild caught. Wild caught has much more nutrition than farm raised, so always choose wild caught whenever you can. And if you are not eating meat, you can do, you know, peanuts, lentils, beans, hummus, things like that as well. Dairy, so most adults do not get enough dairy in their diet. It's very important. But again, like I said, you want to make sure that you're getting clean sources for your dairy. So choosing organic, grass-fed, or pasture-raised when you can, or buying locally is always a great option. And then some examples of equivalents for dairy would be a cup of yogurt, 1/3 cup of shredded cheese, or 2 cups of cottage cheese. And then oils. So this is a big one. Who here uses olive oil to saute their veggies or cook it in the evening? Okay, so I don't know, this started I think years ago because I still remember my mom always using olive oil, but olive oil has a really low smoke point. So when you have your olive oil in the pan and you hear that sizzle, the olive oil is changing from a healthy fat to a trans fat. So you actually don't want that. Olive oil is really good for cold foods, like putting it on top of your salad, or really, really low heat. Some healthier options would be ghee or avocado oil. You could do grapeseed oil, but I don't like that as much, but avocado or ghee is really the best. Are you guys familiar with ghee at all? So ghee is clarified butter. You can buy it almost, I think Meijer, Kroger has it now, or you can make it yourself. Like I make it every Sunday. I just get a couple of the big tubs of like the Amish butter or like organic unsalted butter, and you just put it on the stove. You melt it for about 45 minutes on low heat, and all the casein or the impurities from the butter will go to the bottom, and you skim off the stuff on the top, and it just clarifies it and gets kind of all the bad stuff out. But it also like caramelizes, it tastes really good, and it has a much higher smoke point too. And so in the winter, your body craves more oils. Like if you notice, your skin gets a little bit drier in the winter. Your joints might hurt a little bit more. Your body is craving more of those oils. So it's a good time to always cook with more ghee, avocado oil, put, the cold olive oil on your salads if you want to. And then eat more of those healthy fats like salmon, fish, things like that. Yeah.
What about like the canola oils?
I try to always avoid those just because they're highly processed and have a lot of like impurities, a lot of the herbicides, things like that. They're almost always coming from GMO corn, which can lead to inflammation in your body, heart disease, things like that.
So that the canola is good one. Okay.
What kind of oil did you say is preferable? Can you spell that?
Ghee, yes, it's Ghee. G-H-E-E. Yep.
Clarified butter.
Yep, it's clarified butter. Yep. Or avocado oil is a good one. Yep. Or they have the mixes where it's like half avocado oil, half coconut oil. Those are good too.
Oh, that's good too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if you're making your own, you throw away the top part when it melts off?
I don't. I use it for other things. Some people do, but I just don't like wasting things. So I'll use the top part for like baking and things like that. But you do separate them.
You would use that instead of butter if you're baking?
Oh yeah. Yep. So I'll make like a huge mason jar of it, and that's just what we use all week long for everything. Yep.
So the bottom is what you want, the top is what you use
Don't.
for baking?
Yep. You can use all of it for baking.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Specified, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of videos on it. If you Google it, it does.
I have a question about
Yeah.
coconut, because coconut is a saturated fat.
Yes.
So I really question this crave of coconut.
So it's in moderation. If you have cholesterol issues, that's why I said avocado oil is better than coconut oil. But yes, I don't recommend coconut oil all the time for, it's definitely one of those in moderation only. Yeah. So this is the new updated nutrition label. So just recently they started to add an added sugars right below here. Actually doesn't have it on there, so I apologize guys. But right below sugars now, it'll say added sugars. Have you guys noticed that? So now they're telling you how much sugar that they have added into the product. So you want to try and look for things that have no added sugar, because our bodies do not need added sugar.
So if it gives you a number for sugars,
Yep.
the added sugars are incorporated in that overall number, or they're added to that number?
So if you have sugars right here that said 3 grams, and then underneath it said added sugars 5 grams, that would mean that you have 5 plus the 3.
So
Yes.
that label, they'll
This
Does
one,
that include
it doesn't. Yep, sorry. I thought that one had it on there.
But
Yeah.
that's good information. So
Yes.
that one does not include.
Yes, there's no added sugars in that one.
Okay. And what's the difference between sugar, alcohol? Or alcohol sugars? Because there's sometimes they will designate that different.
That means that they're using like artificial sugars in there. So there's the different sugar alcohols, and they can still upset people with diabetes, things like that. Yeah, some of them, a lot of people don't have any issues with them, but some people do have issues digesting them. So they started listing those. Yep. So vitamins. Vitamins are an essential nutrient that your body needs to function, stay healthy. We have fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. So the fat-soluble vitamins are the ones that can dissolve in fat and be stored in your body. So those are the ones that you want to be careful that you don't take too much of, okay? So you have, those are A, D, E, and K. And then you have the water-soluble vitamins. Those ones dissolve in water and are not stored in the body. So that's like your B vitamins. If you ever take a multivitamin and then a few hours later you pee and it's like bright orange or bright green in the toilet, those are all your B vitamins that you didn't absorb getting processed out. Then you have your minerals. Those are really important. Then you have like proprietary blends, so that's when they mix a bunch of different things basically together. So one observational study in over 30,000 adults in the United States found that adequate intake of certain nutrients through food sources was associated with a reduced risk of death from heart disease as well as death from any cause. So just a pointer to really make sure that you're eating your fruits and vegetables each and every day. It's always best to get your sources of vitamins and nutrients from food before supplements. But we don't all live in a perfect world. We have, you know, busy schedules, or we don't have time to make, you know, a healthy dinner one night, or we're going out to eat. That's where vitamins and different things like that can come in to kind of supplement you that day.
Have you heard the philosophy that in the human body we should maintain an 80% alkaline to a 20% acid balance?
I have not heard that. I know
you can maintain an alkaline balance by eating 70% fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you have an alkaline balance of 80%, it virtually eliminates
most diseases.
Of disease.
Yes, most diseases are associated with too much acid in your body. So the way that we live, our food, our lifestyle causes you to be imbalanced with too much acid. So that's why it's really important for a lot of times if you have arthritis, diabetes, things like that, those are all diseases from inflammation in your body, and it's really important to eat like an anti-inflammatory diet. So watching your nightshades, like tomatoes, eggplants, things like that, all your lectins, those cause more inflammation, make your diseases worse, and you want to really balance that out. I know I love tomatoes too, but you eat too much of them, that's throwing your pH off. And that's one more reason too why water is so important, and making sure you have good sources of water too.
So just going back to your water and coffee.
Yep.
Presumably it's caffeine in the coffee that causes it to be a diuretic?
Yes.
So isn't there a lot of caffeine in tea as well?
Yes, there is. Yep.
What you're saying is nominally
Yeah.
you should drink 8 glasses of water plus 3 for every cup of coffee.
Yes.
And then have a good bathroom then.
Yeah, and so it takes your body a while to get used to that too. So while you're starting to drink more water, you're gonna feel like you're going to the bathroom a lot more, while your adrenals, your kidneys, everything adjusts to it. But after a few weeks, your body should adjust more to that extra water, and it won't be as, numerous times to the bathroom.
Can you have too much water?
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
So can you drink too much water?
Yes, you can drink too much water, for sure. But within, if you do, like I said, your body weight in half, and that's your ounces, you'll be good. So they recently did a study and found that only 1 in 10 adults in America are getting their recommended daily amounts of fruits and vegetables. So that's like pretty eye-opening of we need to do a better job taking care of ourselves, eating more fruits and vegetables. We have definitely become a society that's eating a lot more processed foods. My grandma always said like if you can't pull it out of the dirt, if you can't get it from your garden, it shouldn't be on your plate. She was a huge gardener, she's Native American, so she was different than most people see it, but that's kind of always stuck with me. So adults meeting recommendations in 2019, we're only getting 12.2% of fruits, and then 9.3% we're getting their vegetables. So who needs supplements? Like I said, it's technically possible to get all of the essential nutrients you need from if you carefully balance your diet out, but if you're going out to eat, if you're going to a party, a family gathering, and you're not getting all of your fruits and vegetables, that's when, you know, a day where you could take a multivitamin to make sure you're getting all of your nutrients. So there's 13 vitamins that all humans require for their diets. The most important ones in there are C, A, D, E, K, and then the B vitamins. And then your minerals as well. So vitamins C, E, and A, they're really important for your skin health as well as your immune system. So as we get older, our skin becomes more susceptible to damage caused by unhealthy lifestyle, too much sun, too long of a poor diet, overactive immune system, things like that. So that's where taking a supplement really comes into hand. You want to make sure though that you're getting a clean supplement, so something that is third-party tested. Do you guys know what that means? Are you familiar with like third-party testing at all? So supplements in the United States do not go through FDA testing for the most part. So like your prescription medications, those have to go through rigorous testings through the FDA to make sure that what they say is in there is actually in there. There's no fillers, things like that. Supplements do not. Like if you're going to Meijer and you're getting your vitamin C or your vitamin D, those usually have not went through FDA. A lot of the ones that you get at like your pharmacy, those ones won't have like third-party testing. So the third-party testing is important because you're getting an independent lab, someone who's not paid by that company to look at it, make sure that, you know, if it says there's 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, there's actually 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C in there, not 500 or 2,000, because I've definitely seen that happen with not so great brands. And then they look for impurities, they look for usually over 70 different contaminants, so pesticides, herbicides, things like that, to make sure that what they say is in there and it's a good product.
Do they also test as far as the solubility, as far as how quickly
good ones will, yes, yep. My favorite label to look for on a product is iSura. It's ISURA. They are a third-party testing agency, and they are one of the best in the world. So a lot of products like coming from Canada, from the US that have that iSura third-party testing on there, you know you don't have to worry, and it's a clean product. So that's not a brand itself, that's just like a little label that'll be slapped on there. So B vitamins for energy and to help handling stress. We get a lot of people who are just like B12, B12, B12. But B complexes are so much more important. A lot of times if you're low in B12, you're also low in your B1, B3, B5, B6, all of those. B6 affects your sleep. B12 is really good for energy. If you're not eating a lot of your greens, if you're not eating like organ meats, which most people don't, like liver, your beets, things like that, then B vitamins are really important because you need those every day for brain function, things like that. So if I take this and I have her go make a copy on like the copy machine, and then she takes that and makes a copy, each time, you know, it'll look a little worse. but we've seen a lot of those brands being sold on Amazon and they were counterfeit items. If you ever want to come see me, we're open 7 days a week. You can order over the phone. You can shop online. We have about half of our store online, or you can shop in person. Do you guys have any questions for me?